Hello, this is a spoiler warning for EA2 and Subnautica 2 as a whole. There are going to be things in here that spoil the story, spoil the ending of EA2, and spoil future updates of early access. If you do not want spoilers, click off now. If you're absolutely fine with that, then feel free to enjoy. Thank you very much. Hello everyone and welcome to a Subnautica 2 video. Today we are going to be exploring the experimental version, but not just the experimental branch of the game. I have modded in the hidden assets that the devs have, as well as put my game on version 9999. So nothing at all is hidden. I don't have to spawn anything in. If you've watched Thumbnail's video, you will see that he has to use mods to spawn the tar reel in. That I won't need on this version of the game. And this is doable if you have access to a UE5 console, but I am not going to post a tutorial just in case. The first thing you'll notice is there is a dam by the collector trench that's been destroyed. You can see the block out of it all here. And it kind of extends that way, although this is most likely regular terrain. And a tar river that flows down. The first thing the player is met with is these accent buildings. And this, and this text in the developer build, the experimental build, is explaining that a core in the trident has been removed. And previous pioneers have attempted to hotwire it to these buildings to get power, but you need the power plant you complete in the final act of EA1 to actually power these buildings. Upon turning on the power plant, power now goes into the trident and it's in emergency mode, and because the previous pioneers hotwired it into these buildings, this door will now open. Unfortunately, that's not actually coded into the game, and there is no ghost or no pip, but as you can see here, this gets powered, and there's a depth upgrade inside, right here. So this is where we're going to be getting the depth module Mark II. It's going to be in this action building, very, very close to the collector's dam. Now, you may notice I spawned in a trident. This is to compare the blockout to the trident that's underneath here, because currently there's just a blockout underneath the debris. And to get there, you have to use the sea frog, the prawn suit equivalent in Subnautica 1. And honestly, this surprised me, but there is actually functionality. You're going to be able to gravitize with the sea frog. And you can throw things, you can drop things, and that's going to be a mechanic for me going to the Scorpion's trenches. Now, upon going in to the trident, you'll see it is just blank. Ignore that for now. We'll come back to it. And you'll see that it's not too different. Obviously, aside from not having everything that this trident has. However, you'll see that the power source on the left looks different. There's no ladder. There's nothing at the back. And more importantly, it cuts off here. You can't actually go into the cockpit. You are stuck to just ponder what could possibly be there. That is the purpose for this trident. And as you can see, we travel this way, newly flooded from the dam sabotage. The dam I was talking about. When we know it's a dam, we know it's sabotage, because obviously the developer text is all here. Cicada debris will be up here and trail down. As you can see, all this yellow. Collectors now also spawn here. It's newly flooded due to the dam. Cascades formed due to the sabotage. So all these cylindrical blockouts here. It's tar that's flowing down everywhere. Upon the way from the cascades to the collector nest, you'll see there are actually creatures here that I haven't seen anyone spawn in, or even get in game yet. We'll delve into the files after to have a look at these. So far, these are just Haitians. Obviously, they're not. And also bubbling around is methane clathrate coming from these untextured cylinders. They'll be important later. So as we travel and travel, we will see more cicada debris. We'll see these Cthulhu empty nodes, and when you break them, they actually break into pearls. Pearl chunks. And later on, we're going to watch that collector because they seem to like them. Down here, you'll see there is another collector nest with a collector inside it. And there is also another collector here to this collector nest. Now, this collector nest is where we find the sea frog. This will have all these scannable chassis for us, so that we can acquire this to move around here and unlock more holes. You'll see this tar. If you watch Anthonia's video, this will seem very, very familiar to you. Because the tar eel is here. And it swims around, and it's all in this bottom section. There's multiple of them swimming around, as you can see. They do like... Oh, you saw me. I forgot. Well, as you can see, these guys have their full AI. Oh, he went after the tadpole, I see. But yeah, these guys have their full AI. They don't like tadpoles. I am in God mode, so I'm not sure if these guys will come at me, but I do not want to get killed by a collector or a shiver. So you might have to take my word. Oh, hi! Nope. Go after the tadpole, thank you. You'll have to take my word or look at Anthonia's video to see that these guys do in fact attack. I did see a scan, but as you can see, they're nibbler mangoes. They don't have a scan entry in yet. We're gonna go back invisible so this guy stops freaking the fuck out at the tadpole. Oh, he's spewing tar at me. Yeah, this is where we're gonna be getting the seed from. And it gives lore saying that, this is a lake because of the dam sabotage. It's pretty cool. Now, if we come up to the side, we can see there's an Axum harp, which we're not sure the use of yet, because there's like nothing about this. Got some more Axum lamps, Axum buildings, and there's Axum bioculture, which means more metal farms. There's actually another pool at the top, so fear not, we aren't limited. There is going to be more bioculture. As you can see, they've got a depth gauge. This is in the depth map as well to show how far down we are. Next, we'll check out this nest. Now, this is special because before this experimental branch, this was actually known as an elusive Leviathan's nest. As you can see, there is now a collector here. It could change to an elusive, but I highly doubt. As you can see, this is the main nest. Detritus, not sure what that means. And we need to unplug holes and find the core. Presumably, this is something powered by the Axums. Maybe to harvest clams, maybe to harvest something from the elusive Leviathan or the collectors. There are these nodules everywhere that can't really do much with. And there are also sea frogs just scattered around. These aren't interactable, you just go through them. And yeah, that's all really for this nest. There's not too much about it at this time because, I mean, we aren't even supposed to be able to see this yet. So, traveling away from that collector's nest for a moment, and you can see how far down that we really are. I mean, if you look at the life pod all the way over there, 1.5 meters, or 1.5 thousand meters away. We're going to travel over here to a dead clam. Now, this does have story importance, as you can see up here. This is an acid sac POI. I didn't add any of these beacons, but made them visible, but I didn't make them. They are all by the game themselves. This is the acid sac POI. And right here, as you can see, this is the mega acid sac, which is also going to be another important story component. And if you haven't already guessed, the main goal of EA2 will in fact be powering the Trident. If we come down here, there's an intentional base site, so there's going to be a base down here. Another rock we can move with the sea frog and some heat spires. There's more tar eels down here. They are very, very frequent, going to be very deadly. So not only will we have to deal with collectors, those will also be around. I wouldn't call them big enough to be leviathans, but they are definitely scary creatures. I'd say kind of like them. I think they're called the marrow breachers. Here is more axon bioculture as well, and more nodules. Obviously, their name will change. This will be another pool of axon bioculture. Here we can see them harvesting clams. Can't scan any of these, unfortunately, but these are babies. As you can see, they're well tiny cut from the one that we have by the deep start. There is another collector spawn you just saw for a second. And yeah, they seem to, the Axum seem to have been farming clams down here. As you see here, Axum's tar from farms used to be controlled, it flowed downwards. The infrastructure of the trenches was never intended to hold all of it, which is why that dam was there in the first place. If we go up, we can see original tar flow, now more flooded, because this is where it originally came. More dead clams in the tar. This is the original tar flow. Once again, it used to trail off and come this way, and used to come down. Whereas now it floods everything because of the exploded dam. Now, I want to see if I can catch this in action, because believe it or not, the collectors have an added behavior in this version, and it's all to do with the pearl and all of the nodules on the ground. One thing the collectors will do is if they see a pearl nodule they take interest in, they will go down to it. Currently they just stare at it and back off. But we can speculate that they'll end up breaking it and getting the pearls for themselves to keep and bring back to their nests. Once again, that is just speculative, but it's the best guess we have, considering the actual AI is not implemented into the game yet. I'll check back on these guys in a moment and see if I can get that in progress. If we go over here, there's more accent buildings, more clams. You can see they were being harvested. There was a landslide due to unstable ground, and these clams were holding all of this land together because of their roots. Now, where the clams died, the roots also died with them, which means the land was no longer stable, and it collapsed. One thing we will see around here are resource crushers. These currently have no use in the game. All you can do is scan them to get their blueprint. You can build them, but unfortunately they don't do much right now. They only have an output. And as you can see there, I can just phase through them. And I will show you them later on. So as I make my way to the next area, you can see that there is once again another place for the sea frog to move a boulder, and that just comes into this trench down here, which currently doesn't do much, just has these weird looking creatures, some resource nodes, and more of this methane.
The Noetic advisor has transmitted an alert.
as you can see here, we're getting the collector. He picks up the node. Currently, he just stares at it in this vertical shape with this thruster out. Drops it, and then goes back up on his day. Now, obviously, we can guess he takes that, breaks it apart, and takes it somewhere, or just grabs the pearls and holds onto them. But that's their newly added behavior that they are displaying now. So, for now, it's time for us to take a break from these sparse planes, because now we need to bring out the builder tool, and we cannot build when we are out of bounds. So for this, I'm just going to build 2 rooms. Okay, well, we can just do that there, and that never happened. So, as you can see, the resource crusher needs to be attached to a room, and you build it, and there it is. That's the resource crusher that we were scanning. If I put down a hatch, you can see there is an output right here. Currently, all this is storage. You cannot use it for anything. You can't put any resources in it. As you can see, there's no option for me to open anything. I can't throw any resources in, and the main one I've tried is lithium, because lithium grains exist in the game files, but as you can see, nothing actually goes in. Just to show you, give myself a lithium, drop that in, and it will just fall to the ground like all the others. Just very slowly. There you go. Just kind of sits there and slides slowly. The next addition is the superconducting foundation. It's very, very expensive, needing troilite, titanium ingots, and gold ingots, 6 of each. However, it doubles the production of anything placed on top of it. An example of this, a solar panel on top of my base here. I'll place it down, and you can see it gives me 8 energy per second. We go over to the superconductor, we place it down, you can see it's 16. This goes for the thermal plant as well. I'd assume, maybe not. But I'm assuming that we'll be able to once it's out. Another thing here is the duplex solar panel. Putting this up top, you will see that it currently gives me 40 energy per second compared to the regular solar panel of 8. And as this doubles, if you put this on the superconductor, it gives you 80 energy per second, making it a very good power source. The only issue is, it is once again a little expensive because it needs a germanium ingot, but it's a lot better than the cost of, say, the actual foundation itself. So they are very good, efficiency-wise, even if you don't use the conductor. Next up is the Axum street lamp. As you can see here, we have another lighting option. This can be found near the power plant going to the metal farms in-game already. At nighttime, or when the powers are off, I'm not entirely sure which one, this light is actually red, and doesn't produce any light. As you can see, it's not textured, they aren't fully done, but they are buildable in this version of the game. The resource crusher, once again, is here, and a current ring does exist. This will be very fun. If you have played the game near the second half, where you go to the alien ruins, you will see that there are gateway spires that you can go through, and they boost your tadpole, or yourself, through it. These take inspiration from that, as well as the currents, and they just make a buildable current for you to use. And so the natural occurring currents will be yours to harness when these finally work. Going into utility, we have different types of lockers. We have an expanded deployable locker, which just has more space than a regular locker in it. / will do. We have expanded, yet is slightly bigger than high capacity, will be, this is an inventory size. The next locker we have is just a placeholder right now, but it's a power cell bank. You're going to be able to put this on the back of your tadpole and extend the power capacity to currently add 1 more power cell in. which means instead of your tadpole having one power cell, it has two, which will greatly increase the amount you can explore before having to recharge or come back to base or, you know, carry more power cells. You'll have this instead, which is very, very, very useful. Now it's time to get into the decorations. Currently we have a work in progress so far. You can't sit down on it yet, but it is here and it looks very, very nice. It's going to have 3 seats on it, which means 3 of your pals if playing in multiplayer can all sit together and you can build more. It's very, very nice to see. Scrolling down, we have an Axum pot. Actually textured, very nice, very stylish, at least if you're retailing. We have an Axum seat, which isn't textured, but looks very nice to lounge around in, looks very comfortable. Maybe we get some cushions in there from the sofa. And we have an Axum trash can, once again untextured. We're not sure if this will have use. We can pray it does, because I think it'd be very cool to have an actual trash can. You can put things you don't want in, and have it be alien in nature, to maybe explain why it can incinerate things. So far, that is everything in the furniture decor, and there's nothing new in cultivation as of right now. Unfortunately, guys, I haven't been able to find the next tadpole dock. Like I said, this is obviously not supposed to be in the game yet. I've only been able to see it once. You're gonna have to take my word for it, although I understand if you don't, we can just wait for the whole game, same thing, to come out and see if they add it or not, because it is a work in progress. Okay, so now we're going to head back to the Axum ruins. Most of the stuff we've seen. These lost tadpoles are actually, if you trigger a Collect Leviathan event, it's going to seem that 4 tadpoles have gone missing, and the collector has taken our fellow colonists. And it's not too hard to deduce, obviously, why the life pods went missing, so that's a very quick investigation. So far, there's nothing else more for these signals other than trying to find out what happened to the tadpoles, and then quickly finding out that the collectors have taken them. The destination tag over there is completely useless. I'm not sure why they've added it. It goes not to the edge of the map, but close. That could be something for Chapter 7, because Chapter 7 is in the files. We're going to get to those soon. Just after we finish up the sparse plains, the ending of the video, and the ending of EA2. Ah, our collective friend has got himself stuck again. He might just spawn stuck. So, coming down here, we have this bubble. You may have seen many screenshots floating around. This is for the Sea Frog wreck. This gives us story beats, and this gives us recipes. None of these really work right now, because nothing's really been implemented. This storage cache only held this habitat builder I'm actually using. That's all that's really here. It's on a foundation platform, a fragment of one. You can't scan it, but it is there. And the final thing for the sparse plains and EA2 as a whole will be the ending we're going to go to now. Oh, and as just another quick bit, Axum bioculture here. Once again, there's more in the runoff from the tar running down. So, we are once again back by the dam. This is where the ending of EA2 will take place. It's very circular in nature. And it does include... Let me move this trident out the way so that we have clear views. Now, I'll give an extra spoiler warning. This is the ending of EA2. If you do not want to be spoiled for how exactly the ending works, then please skip ahead to the next section of this video. So, as you can see, we do need the Sea Frog to get into the big sub, as I showed before. The big sub is the Trident. The Trident is currently just an EA name. I quite like the name, but they could change it if they so please. Now, what this is the Trident Power Core. Now, what really happens is you actually have to make this. You have to repair it. If I'm going to Blueprint and I scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see big sub upgrade modules. This is the Axum Fission Core. This is what you're going to use to repair the core for the Trident, so that it can accept power again. You come up to this, you repair it, it turns into this completed fission core, and there's a fission core slot. Now, there is actually a way for us to make that in the modification station, so I'll see you there. So, as you can see, we're by another habitat. We're going to go to this modification station, and as you're going to see, we have the prototype tool modifications. We have... we'll get to this soon. We have the Tadwell upgrade modules, which does include the Mark II and an echolocation module to ping resources. Currently, I do not believe this has any functionality, but obviously we know what it was going to do. And then we have the big sub upgrade modules. These is for the Trident. When making this, as you can see, it's got a placehold texture, and this is what you put in the power core to win EA2. This will give the Trident power. So I'll see you back by the Trident and show you the ending of Early Access 2. So we are back at the Trident, we're back at the power core. All we have to do is open this slot and we can switch this in. And we've repaired the big sub. We have beat EA2 and we have to wait for the devs to come out with EA3, which is where we'll actually be able to drive the Trident and repair it properly. That is the ending to Early Access 2. There are a few bits about the Trident, though, that we need to discuss. The first one being the EMT, or the Axum multi-tool. As you saw in the modification station, there was another tool. That is the EMT, or the Axum Tech multi-tool. Now, before this experimental branch, the EMT was in the game with the Trident, but it wasn't an Axum piece of technology. It was simply something to help you use the Trident. So if we put it in my hand and we switch to it, you'll see we are able to change the filters. We're able to put it down, turn it up. That was for the oxygen filter. We are able to flood the sub and deflood the sub with pump controls on the second floor. When the scanner station is put back in, because they have actually removed it and the cameras from the Trident, you'll be able to use the scanner station, which supposedly is going to be here, and the camera controls as well. If we go down, you'll be able to see we can... this is the power, the transformer alignment to keep power usage correct. As you can see, we can change it down, but we want to keep it at 100. We can change the engine status, and we can turn the power on and off. These are the flood controls. We can actively flood the Trident, or we can deflood the Trident. This is going to be useful if you wreck your Trident, or when we're actually getting the Trident out of its destroyed state. This is going to be flooded, and we're going to have to use the EMT to actually deflood the Trident so we can use it. As you can see, there is also an exit at the bottom we can use. It's all very nice. That is the EMT, or the Axum multi-tool, which you will be able to find in the sparse plains. There is one fragment for it so far I found, and I do not know where the others are. And honestly, I couldn't tell you where I found the first one, because it was by complete random I found it. All I know is it was on top of one building, so take that as you will. I do believe currently that concludes the in-game content for sparse plains of EA2. However, we are going to jump into some further along game dialogue, and we are going to jump into the files so we can see the creatures that are currently in the sparse plains, so we can see the names of them and explore. And if you wanted a closer look at the Trident's core as it is stuck in the wall, as you can see, it is both Altera and Axum technology. It's like it's been tampered with by the colonists, maybe during the hot wire, or this is just untextured. Either way, it is Axiom technology first and foremost, as you can see at the front. This is actually the front view of the fission core, as if I grab myself a big support item key and put it in, you're actually able to see it at the front. This is actually the front of it. And if you're wondering and not caught on yet and didn't realize as to why I said the methane and the acid were all very important story-wise, it's because that's how you create the fission core and how you make the power source. Both of the things that are required and more to create this. That's why they're important story-wise. So guys, as you can see, we are now in the files for the game. This is where you'll end up finding a lot of the creatures that we saw roaming around the sparse plains. Obviously, I did notice we missed one, but that's fine because we're able to see it here. Some of these aren't actually in the game yet, even in that version. As you can see, this is the Vep Defender, or Vep Worker. Last time I looked at this, it actually was not textured. So, as you can see, changing version to 9999 has its benefits even in the files. This is the Vep Worker. This is one of the Veps we're going to be seeing. It looks quite creepy and yeah, kind of got these claws. It's quite small. Next, we have a Vep Sensor. As you can see, these aren't crab-like, but they're more Warper-ish in their look from Subnautica 1. They have these claws, and they stand up straight and roam around with their beady eyes. As you can, in my opinion, they have taken inspiration from the Warper here. And let me know what you think. I think these look very creepy. I think they're very cool to look at. And it's cool that we actually get to interact with the Axum. Because we didn't actually get to interact with the Architects in Subnautica 1, and Below Zero was very subpar in its story, at least compared to the original early access one. Next, we are on the Vep Defender. As you can see, very fish-like. It has claw-like teeth at the bottom and the back of it. It's got black eyes and has claws. It does have wings, as you can see. These are most likely going to be able to come out. And it's going to be able to, like, you know, extend those wings with claws, maybe come after us if we're near sensitive materials, as they are a defender. It looks like we're going to have to fight these off or sneak past them to get to important Axum technology and buildings. Here is the tar eel. This is what is roaming around in the tar. Something Anthomnia actually had to spawn in, but we do not. Looks very, very cool. Obviously untextured here. And once again, top-down view. Very big. This is a symbiote. It's huge. This is going to be terrifying. Also brand new. Have not seen this before in the files. It's very, very crab-like. This looks like it's going to be very, very big. Its mandibles are huge. They're definitely going to be able to grab us. These looks like we're going to have to run away from these a lot while avoiding collecting leviathans. Now this is the Descender. This is the things we saw with spikes out of them roaming around the sparse plains. They are untextured here, just as they were actually in-game. They just had a green overlay on them. This is what we were seeing. We were seeing the Descenders. They also have claws. A lot of things have claws. We are going to be poked and spiked a lot in these sparse plains when we're not being grabbed up by the Collector. Yeah, this is what they look like. They're just spikes all over. They're very small, let's see. Well, they aren't small for in game, but they're small comparatively. And that just about does it for today's video. I may make part 2. on the dialogue options and everything, going through the debug for the dialogue and the story unlocks to show everything coming, potentially in Chapter 7 if the files are correct. But for now, that is the end. If you like this, please like the video, share it with your friends if they're excited for Subnautica and want to see some leaks. Obviously, do not send this to anyone who wants to keep spoilers out of their way and do not want to see anything until it's fully released, because this is just a full spoiler video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.